Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, and today guys, I wanted to talk about something that I get comments about like all the time. Even when it's a video about something that has nothing to do with this movie, somebody will just ask me randomly in the comment section, when is this movie coming to 4K? It was supposed to come out in October of 2021, and then it got pulled from the slate and nobody added it back in, even though it's still listed on Blu-ray.com. It's supposed to be coming out on 4K. And that, of course, is from Dusk Till Dawn. So we're going to talk about this movie and what's happening with it and what I think is going to happen with it moving forward. What's my speculation? Now, I will tell you straight up, I don't know what happened to From Dusk Till Dawn on 4K. Like, I was just as shocked and surprised as everybody else. I assumed they would announce it again, like in a couple of months. They never did. Here we are 2 years later. Nobody's announced this movie. Nobody even said anything. Like, we heard nothing. It just got pulled, yanked from the slate. We heard nothing, no announcements as to why this was pulled from the slate. And again, I assumed it would just get announced again in a couple of months, but we haven't heard anything about this. It's still up on Blu-ray.com as it's supposed to be coming out on 4K. There's two listings for this on Blu-ray.com. It's a 4K and a 4K Steelbook supposed to be coming out from Paramount Pictures. So I don't know anything. This is not a video about my insider knowledge on what's going on with From Dusk Till Dawn. It's just me. Literally, it popped up in my head because I watched John Carpenter's Vampires the other night. John Carpenter's Vampires. So I watched this movie for the first time and I really enjoyed it. I think James Wood was awesome in this movie, but it reminded me a lot of From Dusk Till Dawn because it has those kind of Western vibes kind of fused with vampires. So when I watched this movie, it got me thinking about From Dusk Till Dawn. And unfortunately, at this point, when I think of From Dusk Till Dawn, I don't think about how awesome the movie is, about how much I love it, about, you know, how it's in my top 50 movies of all time. I think about what the hell happened to that 4K that we were supposed to get back in 2021. So I thought I would make a video just talking about this movie, talking about the history of this movie on physical media, you know, who's had the rights in the past and all that stuff, and just what I think's going on. And I might give some speculation on what I think, you know, may happen in the future with this movie and what I think's going on, where I think this is actually going to end up, you know, here in the next, hopefully a few months. Hopefully they announce this thing soon. Like I am waiting patiently for this movie. I still have this on VHS. This is the VHS movie that I watched all the time, wore out when I was a kid. This is one of my all-time favorite films. And for whatever reason, I had the DVD back in the day, but I sold all my DVDs like back in 2016. Big mistake, I know. But I populated my collection with Blu-rays back in 2016 when I started collecting again. And I never rebought this movie on Blu-ray for whatever reason. I don't know why. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. But that 4K got announced and there was a Blu-ray that came out, I think maybe a year before that 4K got announced. And I never picked up that Blu-ray. And then the 4K got announced. I was like, okay, well, I'll just get the 4K when it comes out. And then, you know, that came and went and they pulled it from the slate. And I was like, well, they have to announce it. So they kind of been keeping me like strung along here for the past couple of years. And I haven't bought this movie on Blu-ray, even though I really wanted it in the collection, because I've been thinking that 4K was going to get announced. So they're kind of screwing with me and I don't like it. And the cool thing about this VHS, I'm just realizing, is there's exclusive behind the scenes interviews. So there is actually special features on this VHS tape. And I remember watching them back in the day too. But if you don't know From Dusk Till Dawn, this is a movie starring George Clooney. You got Juliette Lewis in this film. Harvey Keitel is in this movie. You got, of course, Quentin Tarantino in one of his only starring roles. I think Selma Hayek's in this movie. Cheech Marin's in this film. Tom Savini's in this movie. Like, this is just one of the greatest films of all time to me. Like I said, top 50, monster vampire flicks. Like, it's just a great movie. Directed by Robert Rodriguez. It was also written by Quentin Tarantino. And yeah, just the coolest, like, stylistic, like, flicks that I've seen, genre movies. Like, it's part thriller, part creature feature monster film. And I've just always loved this movie since I was a kid. So, and I think it will look fantastic on 4K. I can't wait to watch it something else other than VHS. I actually watched it on Netflix, I think, a few years ago. But let's go ahead and dive into this, guys, and go into the history of this movie on Blu-ray. So this actually, again, this came out under Miramax, which was owned by the Weinsteins for a period of time, especially in the 90s. They were coming out with a lot of stuff. And I believe this was also under the Dimension banner as well. But it was distributed by Miramax, I believe. It came out on VHS and DVD and stuff under the Miramax label. Now, this was put out on Blu-ray back in 2011, I think for the first time on Blu-ray, by Echo Bridge Entertainment. So I don't know too much about Echo Bridge. Maybe they were the ones that distributed for Miramax back in 2011. But Echo Bridge put out the first Blu-ray From Dusk Till Dawn. And then in 2014, Lionsgate actually put out a second Blu-ray From Dusk Till Dawn, because that's when Lionsgate, the whole Miramax thing is very messy, guys. They were owned by Disney for a period of time, then Disney sold them off, and then Lionsgate owned the rights to some of their films for a period of time, and then there was a bidding war between Lionsgate and Viacom was the parent company of Paramount at the time. So now Paramount's and today owns a lot of the Miramax stuff. That's why you see, films like Scream come out under the Paramount label now. Paramount's distributing for the Scream franchise. So it gets very complicated, to be honest. I don't know all the ins and outs, but that's just kind of what I know off the top of my head. So right now, Paramount supposedly owns the rights, the distribution rights to From Dusk Till Dawn, and that is who is supposed to put out that 4K back in 2021. Now, back in 2020, like I said, they put out a third Blu-ray of From Dusk Till Dawn from Paramount. So Paramount was the last one to put this out on physical media on Blu-ray back in 2020. And that is the cheapest way you can get this movie on Blu-ray right now, by the way. That is $11.99 if you want to get that Blu-ray. Now, if you want to get the other Blu-rays, well, actually the Lionsgate one, you can get used on Amazon for $7 right now. And I'm sure you can find them in like thrifting stores and places like that. But the old Miramax Blu-ray distributed by Echo Bridge is $25.24 currently. So what do I think this means? So Paramount, for some reason, I don't know why, I have to imagine the restoration work was done. They were ready to put this movie out. It was on the slate. It had a release date, the end of October 2021. I remember it so vividly, but I remember thinking, like, leading up to it, it was very weird. And I'm looking on this now. There's no image of the 4K or anything on the 4K on Blu-ray.com. There's just a poster. But I remember thinking it was weird that we were getting very close to release date and there was no 4K image of this movie. It was just announced to come out, and there was no like packaging information or anything like that. There was no like special features information. There was no package, look or anything, artwork or anything. But we were supposed to get the 4K, and there was also a 4K steelbook to go along with it. So it was going to get the Pulp Fiction treatment, which is another Miramax movie that was put out in the 90s that's now distributed under the Paramount banner. So I imagine this was going to get something similar to what Pulp Fiction just got back in December. It was going to get the slipcover treatment. It was also going to get the steelbook treatment, which would have been very cool. And both of these are still on Blu-ray.com. So this is supposedly like, I guess in Blu-ray.com's mind, like they haven't heard anything. Nobody's heard anything about this. So they're keeping it on the slate until this thing finally gets an announcement. But I got to thinking about this. I was like, we see boutique labels like Kino Lorber, and I think back in 2022 is when Kino announced that Paramount, they got a bunch of stuff from Paramount, I think like 70 or 80 titles. So what it got me to thinking was, could Kino have this movie now? Could that be the reason why it was pulled from the slate? Maybe that was a part, because we don't know when these negotiations were taking place. Maybe they were taking place back in 2021 at the end. Maybe right before, From Dusk Till Dawn was supposed to come out on 4K. And maybe in that agreement, Kino wanted to put out From Dusk Till Dawn. So maybe they've been working on it all this time. I don't know. Like, could Kino be the ones to put out From Dusk Till Dawn? Because they've been doing a lot of stuff from Paramount. Who freaking knows at this point? But also got me to thinking about, the possibility of Arrow, because they just put out Hugo, which was a Paramount title. Could Arrow Video be wanting to do a big box set From Dusk Till Dawn? Could they have, maybe bid to get the license for From Dusk Till Dawn right before Paramount put it out on 4K? I don't know why Paramount would give it up right before they were going to put it out on 4K, but something happened. Like, I'm not saying that I know what happened. Something happened right before this was getting ready to come out, and it went somewhere. I just really feel like it went somewhere. Now, maybe Paramount will announce it tomorrow, but I feel like it went to Arrow. I feel like Arrow and Kino Lorber are the primary candidates for this movie to go. And I would definitely look. I would love it if Kino Lorber put it out. I really would. Anybody puts it out, I'll love it. I'll pick it up day one. But to think about a big box set release of From Dusk Till Dawn from Arrow Video, like, that would be freaking awesome. Like, I would just lose my mind over that with the artwork that they could do. Like, there's so many great imagery. There's so much great imagery in this film. they could just do all kinds of incredible stuff with the artwork on the packaging there. So my mind's definitely starting to wander off in all different directions. So yeah, just because it says the Steelbook and the 4K is still coming out from Paramount on Blu-ray.com, that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. That's just the last that Blu-ray.com has heard was going to happen with From Dusk Till Dawn. So they're just going to keep it on there until they hear something else. So I really feel like, though, somebody else has this. I don't feel like Paramount has this anymore, or you know, Paramount has it, but I feel like they license it off to somebody. I feel like somebody bid on it, somebody really wanted it, and they made Paramount an offer that they couldn't refuse, and whoever did it is now putting out From Dusk Till Dawn. Now, when they're going to put it out, who knows? I mean, this stuff does take a long time, in some cases years. You know, they could be working on, like, if Arrow got it, I'm sure they're going to do all kinds of special features and interviews. Like, they could be, you know, taking their time with it and, you know, doing all the incredible artwork, the booklets and all that stuff and getting it ready. So I don't know, guys. I'm optimistic. I'm hoping. I don't think it'll be this year. Maybe it could be this year. You know, that could be a really cool announcement for Arrow Video in October. Like that would be freaking mind-blowing and awesome. And that would solidify to me, like, Arrow Video is like the boutique label of 2023. If they do From Dusk Till Dawn, like, I would lose my mind. You all will literally see my brain explode on here. So yeah, Arrow Video do it. That would be super exciting. But if Kino Lorber gets it, I would be excited for that as well. But, you know, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I don't want this video to be too long, but I just wanted to talk about From Dusk Till Dawn because it's been a long time since we've heard anything about it. I get the question all the time, and I love this movie. I love this movie so freaking much, and there's nothing more than I want than for this movie to get a 4K release. So you care about this film. I'm happy that so many people do care about it, and I get comments about it all the time, because sometimes when you think about these movies from your childhood that you just watched all the time, you feel like it's kind of, you kind of take ownership of it. You just feel like nobody else really cares about it. And it's nice to know that a lot of people care about this film. So hopefully we get this movie on physical media. I have no idea what's holding it up. Maybe the Weinstein situation, because I know there's an issue there, you know, with the Kevin Smith films and stuff. Maybe that falls in with this. I have no idea, guys. I have no idea. But I know that Paramount was getting ready to put this out on 4K. It was right there. It was in our grasp. And then they yanked it away from us. So I don't know what happened. But I just wanted to talk about it. Sometimes I just want to get on here and talk about this kind of stuff. It's like therapy for me. But thank y'all for watching this video right here. Definitely leave me your feedback and your comments down below. What do you think happened with From Dusk Till Dawn? What do you think will happen with it? Do you think we'll ever get it? Let me know in that comment section below. Also, like, comment, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and follow me on all my social media accounts down below in the description. And we'll see you next time.